welcome, it's Captain Cairo, and today we have something very special for you because you guys have been stretching and stretching and stretching and your progress has not been as fast as it could be.
Oh, I wish I could touch my toes, but I can't. I've been doing it for so long.
Well, suffice it to say, we have a couple of techniques today that we're going to use that if you follow them and if you learn how to use them, you will be much faster in advancing your stretching and your mobility routines. Technique number 1, reciprocal inhibition. To put this in layman's terms, all you want to do is contract the muscles of the opposite side that you are stretching.
So you want to touch your toes, you want to stretch your hamstrings, but you don't know how to do it?
Well, this is the most effective way to do it. Through reciprocal inhibition, basically what we do is, if we want to stretch our hamstrings, we contract our quadriceps and our hip flexors and abs. And what that does is it automatically relaxes the other side of our muscle group, which means that we can just, through contracting and pulling forward, through muscle force, pull our body all the way down, much easier than we could if we were just pulling and having relaxed muscles. Now, why is that? You might have noticed that if you contract your biceps, what automatically happens to your triceps is it elongates, it relaxes, it extends. The same thing goes for every single other muscle group. If I contract my chest musculature, what happens to my rear delt musculature? It elongates, it relaxes, and it becomes really soft. And I can use that to my advantage to stretch much further than I could if I was just trying to pull forward as people usually do. So keep this in mind. PNF, or Proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Now that sounds like some science hippie shit, but trust me, it's not as complex as it appears. We're gonna use exactly the same hamstring stretch again. Now this time, all we're gonna do is elongate our hamstrings. You can use the technique I showed you before through reciprocal inhibition if you want to combine them. Basically, we're pulling forward. You're gonna hold for a couple of seconds, and then you're gonna try pressing away as much as you can. So you're pushing your toes against the wall as hard as you can. Push, 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 push. Let go, and then grab again and try and go even further than you did before. Hold for 10 to 20 seconds. Let go, push away, and repeat. That's really easy, really simple. Moving on to what is by far one of my most favorite stretching techniques, and that is the loaded stretch. Basically, again, back to the hamstrings, you want to go and stretch out your hamstrings as much as you can. Now, instead of using your body weight or using reciprocal inhibition, what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a weight. And all we need to do is do the same thing, maybe elevate our feet so we can go a little bit deeper because we have the weight in our hands. And we're gonna let it pull us down by relaxing as much as we can. Now, as you can see here, I don't have enough space because I'm already a little bit more flexible. So what I'm gonna do here is turn this around and let it pull me further and further and further, relaxing as much as I can. The more relaxed you are when it comes to a loaded stretch, the easier it's gonna be to let the weight do the work. Now, you might be someone like me who does not enjoy static stretching, which is basically just holding a stretch for like 30 seconds, letting go, relaxing a little bit, and repeating it again, because it can get really boring and really repetitive. So, there are two more things that we can do. Number 1, dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching is basically stretching in a movement. So what you can do, back to the hamstring stretch again, we're gonna go forward, release. Forward, release. Forward, release. That is one of the easiest ways to use dynamic stretching to your advantage. If even that is not enough movement for you, there is one more thing we can do, which is ballistic stretching. In ballistic stretching, there is way more movement and way shorter time where we pull and lengthen the muscle that we're stretching, but we do it through repetition and through speed and increasing the amount of repetitions we do over time and the speed we have over time. Again, back to the hamstring stretch. Instead of holding statically, instead of doing dynamic stretches, what we're going to do is ballistic. Up, down, up, down, up. You're basically throwing your leg up all the way as much as you can. And even though this one takes a little bit more practice, and you only see the people that already know how to stretch a little bit more, because you can get hurt if you don't warm up properly or if you do any mistakes. So keep that in mind. I would advise to start with dynamic and static stretching before you do anything else, and try to incorporate reciprocal inhibition or PNF if you want to, or even loaded stretching to maximize the benefits that you have. And then you can move on to stuff like ballistic stretching, or what I enjoy much more, mobility routines, where you're always in movement, where there is no static hold, where you're basically just flowing from one exercise to another. Now I enjoy that way more than I enjoy any other type of mobility work. And if you would want to follow along something like that, you can check out this video, or you can just follow along the exercises and try and come into the same mobility flow that I'm doing. Over time, the more different patterns you know, the more you can connect them to each other and freestyle as much as you want. As always, it was a pleasure having you here. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, maybe subscribe if you think this content is congruent with the stuff that you're interested in. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, because new videos every day. Thank y'all. Captain Cairo. Peace out.